What's up, narrative breakers? Kamala Harris just got exposed by her fundraiser for burning $2.5 billion on celebrities and oligarchs. Just when you thought it couldn't get much worse for the Democrat Party, this Christmas gift get delivered. You got to enjoy it.
Ashley, Merry Christmas. It's wonderful to be with you.
Merry Christmas.
This has been a long time coming. My initial disillusionment became clear when I realized that they burnt essentially set $2.5 billion on fire. They raised $1.5 billion through the campaign, another billion through the super PAC Future Forward. And there's been no accountability. We still haven't gotten any answers as to why Oprah, a billionaire, got $2.5 million through her production company. Why couldn't she pay for it? She's an oligarch. She could have just paid for the production costs herself. And not to mention the fact that they spent $450,000 putting Kamala Harris's face on the sphere. Now tell me why that would be helpful. Tell me how that would help her win. Obviously, that was utter failure. And then they spent $500,000.
Now, if you guys aren't aware, this individual right here, this woman, she actually pretty much been extradited. Lindy Lee has been extradited outside of the Democrat Party ever since she was being vocal about the spending. She said that out of her experience, she's worked with the Trump campaign and worked with Harris, that the Harris campaign, without a doubt, was the most unprofessional that she's seen and possibly the worst campaign that she's ever seen ran. It was actually just revealed, one of these podcasts, I can't remember the name specifically, spoke with Kamala Harris and asked her 3 of 12 questions. When they pressed Kamala Harris for not answering and going on to other questions, she told them that, hey, I'm going to win this with or without you. Dude said worst campaign he ever seen. So now that the honeymoon phase is completely over and there's no chance for her to be president, now the truth comes out. Now, for anyone that votes blue, I need you to think for a second, how dangerous is it to be a Democrat if these people aren't willing to tell the truth until it's over? That's very, very dangerous, because everything they're telling you to believe in might only be a temporary narrative, which they know isn't true. And that's what we're seeing right now. Every single day we're finding out new information that exposes how bad that campaign was.
Essentially bribing Al Sharpton moments before he interviewed her. And this is our hard-earned money. This is the money that I worked so hard to raise. I raised millions of this, and donors are feeling burned. And let me tell you, although I might be the only one coming forward, I haven't met a single donor who disagrees with me.
So what's been the response, Lindy, since you made your announcement?
Vitriolic. And they say they're not a cult, but look at how they behave when one of their own dares to think for herself. The excommunication, the defamation, the public shaming, the boycott campaigns, the psychological terrorism. I no longer have comments on any of my social media, because it's just too much. I don't need that. It's just endless. And as soon as you step out of line, they will get you.
Yeah, that is clear. So what's next? Are you going to turn Republican, independent? What's next for you?
This all has been so fast for me, and actually someone scooped my own.
I'll also say this is the most I've ever seen Democrats pretty much shift and leave their party. They are jumping ship. They're completely jumping ship. And it's the time for it.
This all has been so fast for me, and actually someone scooped my own exit. Some random person on Twitter got 3 million views saying that Lindy Lee is going to exit. I couldn't even own my own departure. So this is all happening really quickly for me, but you might see me at the inauguration. I don't want to say too much right now, but somebody on Team Trump already reached out to me. They've been incredibly gracious, and on day one, they were kinder to me and more humane than the DNC ever was.
Wow.
And I just think that speaks volumes, yeah.
Of reports by the National.
It's because the DNC thinks they have minorities in the bag, so they have no need to try to treat them well. They're willing to show who they really are. They're very disgusting people. The DNC has no reason to be kind to people in real life when they think that they got everyone behind the screens fooled. That just shows their arrogance and the dangers of having them in control of the country, because the worst thing you can ever do is be in a position where a Democrat can now be comfortable to be themselves. And I'm not talking about the Democrats down the street. I'm not talking about your neighbors. I'm talking about these very powerful politicians that couldn't care about you or your neighbor, because there's a distinct difference. We have to stop attacking those that are just people that are citizens watching the world stage. We have to hold the people accountable who's playing their roles on this stage that we live
Journal
in.
and Orange County Register, which documented what they called her lavish spending from her campaign fund accounts on luxurious hotels, luxury car services, and first-class airfare. The Hill, an online government news site, quoted former aides as saying she treats the campaign fund like a personal checking account to fund a life of luxury. Should it raise questions in the public mind about, if you're a senator, how you would look at...
So this right here, this footage is with Kamala Harris running for Senate. She actually got exposed for the lack of using funds, her misuse of funds. This happened before she ran for president. So it's not as if it's a new problem. The problem is the DNC to actually sit there and trust Kamala Harris after failing before. You see, they don't care about the American people. Why would they even put Kamala Harris in position if she had a history of misusing funds? I don't know. She might actually be black, because something about these black Democrats, them black Democrat politicians, they know how to steal money. I'm telling you, time and time again, they misuse funds. She might have
money spending, which is always an issue in Washington?
There were issues that we needed to address early in my campaign around correcting course, which we did, and I'm very proud of the work we did in that regard.
So this was your campaign manager, I believe, who was replaced, right?
There was a lot of restructuring that we did, and it needed to be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So problem solves?
I believe so, yes.
How did this land with you? Stay the course, don't...
So this is what led to her Twitter, when she said someone posted about her Twitter. And I think it might have been Nick Sorter that did it, my homeboy Nick, about that post with 3 million views. It wasn't me on that one. But the first expose of it all. And after this, it started everything with her entire waking up moment.
give up from the president and VP?
Thank you so much for having me. I was speaking with fellow donors after this meeting, and there was a briefing in addition to the party, and a lot of people left feeling frustrated because, once again, no one has taken any responsibility. It's been almost 2 months, and no one has given any sort of honest or comprehensive answers as to why they blew through essentially $2.5 billion, because $1.5 billion was raised through the campaign, then another billion was raised through Future Forwards, the super PAC. And there's been no introspection, no sense of humility. A lot of the senior advisors went on Pod Save America and basically blamed everybody else under the sun except themselves.
So at this point, do you expect there will be accountability or an explanation for the funds, or does it appear they're moving on?
I think a very interesting tidbit is that of the $500 million in advertising fees, it just went to 4 well-connected Democratic firms, including Bully Pulpit. So this is the consultant class.
That's the problem. You see, oh my God, and I'm glad this was mentioned, because this is what the Democrats do. They will create entire organizations, political campaigns, just to benefit very, very, very few. And she said 4 people, 4 individuals. There were 4 people that mainly got these funds, and it shows that it is a party we not invited to, and it's such an elite party. 4 individuals were the main. Come on, man. So that means she funneled this money out to 4 firms that found a way to get this to celebrities. How does that happen? Well, one of those firms could be a massive PR company, and that PR company would have the ability to contact any celebrity that they currently employed. They currently cover whoever they're working with. They get to have them give an endorsement to Kamala Harris. That's how they're able to get so many celebrities at once, because they contact the management firms, the PR firms, all of these booking agencies. It could be so many different avenues for this, but they contacted 4 large agencies to get this world stage built up. And it shows how powerful just a select few is. It only took 4 to create a campaign that costed $2 billion. it doesn't take much for Democrats. They keep this power very secure.
Washington, D.C., they move from one campaign to the next, and they don't learn any lessons. They're not very self-reflective because there's so much in the game. And just to give people a sense, we were advertising hardcore in Florida, ruby red Florida now. And why were we doing that? It was because of the money, because of the advertising fees. Regardless of the fact that Kamala Harris's chances of winning Florida are quite low, there was still money to be made. So that was a type of mentality governing the political consultant class.
Will Democrats face challenges, Lindy, raising money next time around if it is not more transparent given the losses of this cycle?
Oh, for sure. And there are backroom conversations happening right now. Some people are fundraising for Republicans now. They're open to a different team who would appreciate and handle their finances better. So the question is this: how can we ever trust you to handle the taxpayer money correctly if you can't even run your own campaign, if you can't even handle donor money?
Do you think that the new DNC chair will address this differently, and do you have hope there?
I don't mean any offense, but I'm not particularly inspired by any of the candidates thus far. No one has really proposed anything groundbreaking. That is the level of change that we need right now. I think most of them are just a continuation of the status quo. And it's the same people over and over again. Kamala Harris herself is even saying that she's considering another run, which, I mean, at this point, I'm very sorry. I just find it very just Pollyannish to even contemplate that. I don't think the American people want that, certainly because they appear to be.
Democrats don't have many friends anymore. They're being exposed by the people that they trust the most. You guys got to understand, this is a fundraiser. This is someone that's seen the money. This is someone that was given a job by the Harris campaign to raise funds. She knows better than most how these people spend their money. It was so bad that it ran her to the Republican Party. Like I said, America is entering a renaissance where we're about to see accountability and truthfully just a fall of the oldest party in America, which is the Democrat Party. They are the oldest party. And what goes up must come down. I mean, Rome can fall. There had to have been an era where the Democrat Party falls. Quite frankly, I think we lived through the era of the fall of the Republican Party. Things go and things come, you know. It says nothing new under the sun, as above, so below. Both statements can be true because after George Bush, the Republican Party got so weak, in my opinion. So weak to the point that Republicans became a niche in America. It's almost as if they were treated as if they're a cult-like niche, as if it isn't like the other half of the country. Now we're aware that conservatism as a whole, people with the conservative mindset, or at least people that want a conservative focused nation, is somewhat the majority now. It just wasn't like that. Bush pretty much sabotaged the party, and we know that George Bush and Barack Obama were cousins, so they were on the same team. Maybe Bush's job was to destroy the Republican Party. If it was, he did a great job, brilliant job of doing so. But we lost a lot of support during George W. Bush, right after George Bush, and it just was not projected, especially after the dominance of social media, and social media pretty much being aligned with everything liberal. That had solidified the liberal stronghold for the next 20 years. And out of nowhere, we had a freak of nature by the name of Donald J. Trump came in, and the shift has never been the same. It still, to me, feels as if we're in an alternate reality and CERN might have hit something wrong. And we're just in the good part of reality that some good guy that was out there couldn't afford for us to face the same fate as him. Because I just don't understand how Trump came as strong as he did and at the perfect time that he did, because there was no chance for us.
Learning all the wrong lessons. They're still blaming the American people as sexist and racist rather than looking at themselves to see what they can do better, looking at themselves and realizing they completely failed on the border, that they let Title 42 lapse, that they failed on the economy, especially on the messaging, denying that inflation was even an issue up until late 2023, 2024, when it was too late. So instead of attacking the American people for the choice that they made, I think Democrats should do better and look at themselves and look at their platform and see if they actually offer anything useful to the American people.
Always candid. Appreciate it. Lindy Lee, thank you.
Yeah. Ryan Grandson!
And in case you guys don't know, what was being referenced was Oprah. Oprah reportedly got, you guys, please, someone in the comments hit it. She definitely got over like 1.5 million for the Kamala Harris interview right here. And Oprah, this was very expensive because it didn't just have Oprah Winfrey, who is a billionaire. Mind you, Democrats always saying that Republicans got the billionaire friends. Kamala Harris literally got interviewed by their billionaire friend, which she has no problem calling Kamala Harris her friend. That's another thing. People know that all Trump pretty much has right now is Elon Musk. And they're trying to beat that to the grave. Just like I said, they're trying to create a divide through Trump and Musk by claiming that Trump works for Musk. Yet, Kamala Harris can be on camera with Alex Soros, with Oprah Winfrey, with Mark Cuban, and call these people a friend. Not only through text, but through video. They'll say it on status, my friend, and say it on video, my friend. And they claim that we're the ones owned by billionaires. That's neither here nor there. They somehow got Oprah Winfrey and all celebrities, and trust me, every last one of these stars charged Kamala Harris. This is where taxpayer dollars were being spent.
I hear Chris Rock is in the house. Chris, where are you? Chris Rock is in the house. Ben Still.
And Chris Rock is a deep state pawn. And I know some conservatives like Chris Rock. Listen, why was Chris Rock selected by the Pope along with Whoopi Goldberg and those other weird comedians this year? He's the one that get to host the Oscars. He's the one that got his ass slapped by Will Smith. Hey, man, that dude privileged, bro. He privileged. And he's more privileged than most Hollywood stars. It makes you wonder, is he just that talented? Or is he just that willing not to say nothing over the things he might see? Because Chris Rock is always in the right places and always around some of the biggest elites. And I mean like presidential things, Oscars, Grammys, inaugurations. Chris Rock is just selected as one of those top elites that can be anywhere at any time. It doesn't surprise me that he was here. Didn't even notice this until now.
Jennifer Lopez, Tracy Ellis Ross. Jennifer Lopez! Where are you, Jennifer? Yes! Tracy Ellis Ross, where are you? Tracy Ellis, where are you on the screen? Tracy Ellis. Julia Roberts, where are you?
I wish I could just put a dollar sign by every one of their heads and put 50K plus.
And Miss Meryl Streep is in the house. So glad to have all of you familiar faces and those of you who are not.
$1 million to interview her in September. $1 million. Now, if she thought she was saving democracy, she should have done it for free. Kamala scared donors by calling Trump a dictator, got $1 billion, then just gave it to her friends and blew the rest on being a diva. Kamala went on a podcast, remember Call Her Daddy, but she didn't want to go to their studio in LA. So she made the host fly to DC and used campaign cash to build a fake set in a hotel room. She spent more than $100,000 to build it. That set, see it? 2 chairs, a coffee table, and a bookshelf.
Literally, instead of going to her. That lazy.
That's 6 figures. Now, we looked at the set. We probably could have done it for around $6,000. That's without labor. But where'd the rest of the money go? We don't know. So she's still trying to soak folks for cash. 24 hours after the election, on Wednesday, Democrats got a text from the campaign. Urgent. We need help. Donate now. Help with what? You lost. This is how she's going to spend.
That's bad. Guys, I ain't gonna lie, that's bad. Just that Call Her Daddy. Like, all of her dirty laundry is coming out. That is horrible to spend that much money on getting a relocation of a set where she could have just went to the Call Her Daddy set. Absolutely crazy. Kamala Harris ran the worst campaign I've seen. And it's crazy because Joe Biden's wasn't good either. It was so bad he had to drop out. But it's like they just started spending way more because they had less with her. They had less with Kamala. So I guess they felt like if they overcompensated with the money, that it could balance out her inadequacies. And obviously, it did not work whatsoever. So they lost. And we have to prepare for 4 more years and see what happens then. It is Christmas Eve. I'm still recovering with my voice. This is actually my second video today. The first one, I completely screwed up. If any of you guys saw my first video, that's a little Easter egg because, yeah, I messed that one up completely. I completely scratched it. So we're doing this with this one. Merry Christmas to all of my supporters. I want to just give out a quick shout out to everyone real quick. Guys, I started my career on Twitter. And I really want you guys to know this, that I'm enjoying YouTube so much that just reading your comments, engaging with you, I got to 1.5 million on Twitter, but I feel like we're going to create better moments here. I do. And I'm so excited for the future here. Super excited. And this is my focus moving in 2025. So I just want you guys to know that you got me here. I really started making content in May, and you motivate me to keep posting. And I do love Twitter, and I've been posting more on Twitter again because I had so many people request, say they missed my content and coverage, so I'm still there. But I love what we're starting here. I love the community, the family that we're building, just your comments, the type of people. I love my audience. I love my YouTube audience. What can I say? I like my Twitter audience. Yes, I love my YouTube audience. So thank you guys. Great to engage with you here. Happy to have you here. Have a happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all. Good night. Please like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell to catch my next one.